Here we have the outside of the 2014 Auto Sleepers Broadway EB. First we will come to the water fill point. If we now just flap this up, you'll see the filler point just here. We can either use a submersible pump or a collapsible hose that we attach to a tap. If we're going to use the one that attaches to the tap, we get this point here, we then plug it in, flap over like so, turn the water on, and it will then commence filling up the water tank. We do need to make sure that the 12 volt is on out in the van, or otherwise the solenoid will not be activated that allows the water in. And then to remove, flap up, pushing these two buttons on either side, and out it will pop. We can also use the submersible. Again, it is just plug it in, flap it over, and then drop into a water container, and it will then draw the water into the van. Beside this, we then have external TV and satellite points. And beneath that we then have an external locker. We then have the flue for the Truma combi boiler. We do not need to do anything with this, just make sure that nothing is obstructing it. And beside that we have the mains hookup point. We then have the fridge vents. Just make sure again that nothing is obstructing them or spray too much water at them when washing the van. And next we have the Thetford cassette toilet. This particular model of van has its own separate header tank, so we need to pull this bit out here, and then either using a watering can or a hose pipe, fill up the header tank. We can gauge how much water is in the header tank by looking at the gauge just here. And then to drain the header tank down for winterization, all we then need to do is unclip, pull down, and then pour away. The cassette itself is a standard cassette which is now on wheels with an extendable handle. Just always when you pour away, just make sure you hold this button in to release the vacuum inside. And once the cassette has been put back in, make sure it's engaged fully. Beneath the van we then have the grey water drain just here, and we also have a valve just here with an air line that then runs to the spare wheel, so we can check the tyre pressure and top up if needed. And then the spare wheel just sits here. In the jack and wheelbase kit that sits underneath the passenger seat, there is a bar that locates in that hole just there. You then attach the brace to the bar and wind it down. The freshwater drain just sits here. This model of motorhome comes with rear corner steadies. So the corner steady winding handle just locates onto here, and then literally just wind your legs down to steady the back end. We then have the Fiamma bike rack, just pull down. Bike's on the rails, these then secure through the wheels, and then these bars here then just secure around the frames. We then have the roll-out canopy just here. LPG fill point just here, just push in, twist, and then take out the dust cover, and then attach the nozzle and fill. The gas tank itself just sits underneath the van at this point here. You will see that there is a black nut just here that you can undo and then remove the front plate. This gains you access to what you would similarly find on the top of a propane bottle, a little brass tap that you can then turn the gas on and off with. You are not required to turn the gas off for travel. We then have external main socket, access underneath the bench seat, and the external barbecue point.